my soul so weary when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
The 2016 Colorado Upshift, Phase 2, TimeGates and Harmonization. Archangel Metatron via James Tyberon. Greetings, Masters. I am Metatron, Angelic of Light, and I am joined in this session by Tyberonn of Crystalline Service. We greet you in a vector of unconditional love. We welcome each of you, individually, as you hear our words. Masters, as we have told you, the next 7 years will offer extraordinary shifts to humanity, yet will be a time of challenges and intensities. With the diminishing of the magnetic grid, and the full emergence of the 144 crystalline grid, all that you term power nodes, are redefining and reforming into greater energy. The living Earth is in constant flux, and the advent of solar radiation is symbiotic with the upshift into crystalline frequency in the continuing transition of the planet. Dear ones, we speak in this session on a timely and fascinating topic. We speak on the upshifting crystallization of your Earth as it's occurring in 2016, with focus on the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. Colorado is an incredible, nurturing, and astonishingly potent land of unique and extraordinarily diverse telluric energies which are upshifting in the new Earth and taking on new roles, leading into 2038. The embellished energies of Colorado are far more balanced than other such potent regions of extremely high energy within the United States. In the upshift that began last year in 2015, the second phase of the Rocky Mountain upshift is occurring in the third trimester of 2016, between the solar eclipse of September and the solstice of December. We tell you that in 2016, the attributes and connectivity of the Rocky Mountains will expand in a unique and potent manner. A manner which allows for soul harmonization. Now, to be clear, there are many expanses within columnar mountain ranges that generate earth currents, termed as Leylines, but not all of these currents are equally embellished. Indeed, there is a great differentiation in attribute of such electrotelluric stream flows. The state of Colorado is one of the most potently and abundantly diverse mineralized areas in the world. As a result, The frequency projected along the currents are far more embellished than in other mountainous regions, and contain a greater capacity of information coding. Again, this is because Colorado is so uniquely abundant in the variety of minerals found deposited within its strata. And this plays an enormous role on the differentiation of the Colorado span of the Rocky Mountains. Although Arkansas contains a much greater quantity of crystalline quartz, Colorado also contains a vast amount of piezoelectric quartz varieties, as well as topaz and tourmaline, which are the only other gems of piezoelectrical attribute. The energetic Leylines that are projected from and through the Colorado and Canadian Rockies are quite unique and more complex due to their mineralogical imprints, and indeed the more lucid coding of their time-space frequencies. What is offered to humanity in the 2016 and beyond upshift of the Rocky Mountains is an enhanced ability of reconnecting, reharmonizing all past lifetimes into the highest level of unity. This involves what one may refer to as soul defragmentation, or perhaps better described as soul harmonization. Each human soul will have a complex history of succinct purpose in differing roles and areas of incarnational lifetimes. Many of these are surprisingly very vibrationally different from one another. We will discuss this in detail in the latter portion of this interesting channel. 2016, Phase 2 of the Rocky Mountain Upshift. The Colorado Upshift went into full flow in the harmonic stargate energies, beginning last year in 2015, initiating in 2015 with the tandem eclipses through the solstice of June. Now occurring in the present year of 2016, the second phase of the Colorado Upshift is beginning on the solar eclipse of September 1st, 2016 and will be in peak transformation through the December solstice of 2016. The crystalline shift and solar radiation are changing to a great degree the energy of all sacred sites, but especially those containing crystalline mineralogy. And virtually all mountainous matrix energies have potent crystalline mineralogy. Great portions of the Rocky Mountains are crystal-bearing igneous and crystalline metamorphic rock. This tectonic plate collision process, mineralogy, volcanics and other telluric forces that create mountain ranges collates incredible energies that are not only retained, but combined and amplified by the unique mineralogy. The crystalline minerals, metamorphic deposits, crystals and conductive attributes of the strata have not only a specific current flow, but a consciousness, a spirit of beingness that exists in the continual range. At the base core of the Rocky Mountain Range are the ancestral Rockies, a base of metamorphic rock that is over 1.7 billion years old. This is very significant, because when igneous or sedimentary rock is transformed by pressure and heat to metamorphic matrix, the nature of the rock is morphed into incredibly vibrant structures of crystalline attribute. The crystalline attributes acts as a receiver and transmitter. Tectonic movement pushed this ancient plate upward into the spine of the Rockies, and this crystal matrix generates the primary geocoded, energetic current projection. There are, of course, intrusions of volcanic rock and glacier cuts forming lush valleys, etched by streams and rivers and separated by rifts, all of which amplify, pool and diversify the living conscious geological energies. But at the core is the metamorphic stream of beingness. Accordingly, the Rocky Mountains, and all such ranges, may be likened to an enormous benevolent crystallelectrical life form. Your ancients called them the sacred dragon lines, because these currents carry the kundalini of the planet along their lengthy serpentine spine. In a manner of speaking, the Rocky Mountains, in overview, can be considered as a main conduit of singular life flow consciousness in North America, extending over 4,000 kilometers, beginning in northern British Columbia and ending in northern New Mexico. And if one includes the extensive networking of the other sub-ranges, that distance is exponentially much greater. In 2016, the Rockies are energetically connecting from Alaska to the tip of South America, incorporating the Sierras of Central America to the Andes, resulting in an incredible energetic flow. And take note, the Rocky Mountains to Andes are then the primary range, the most potent and longest above-sea conduit of Earth current on the planet, over 17,000 kilometers in length. And the extensions do, in 2016, flow continuously through Mexico, Central America, and join to the Great Ranges of the Andes Mountains of South America, uniting, in a true sense, the Eagle and the Condor, as prophesied by the Hopi. That consciousness is a fluidic river, of a succinct concentrate of crystal-magno-electric force, born of the living earth, and is fed by numerous dynamic energy sources. It spawns a webbing network of vital currents and leylines, just as a mighty river may feed streams and brooks. There are incredible points along the continual range stretching from Alaska to the southernmost tip of South America. Among the most magical are super-emliached regions including Banff, Canada, Colorado, Peru, Machu Picchu and Lake Titicaca and Patagonia in Chile. Our focus in this channel is Colorado. The Denver Basin. The area of Denver is located in an energetically enhanced basin embellished by 5 aquifer systems. The basin contains 7 strata layers, formed at approximately the same time as the ancestral Rockies, which are metamorphic crystals. The Denver Basin is in essence a vortex cauldron, powerfully attracting what may be termed as leyline crystalloelectric currents from the main spine of the Rocky Mountains. The mineralogy of the 7-layer strata of the Denver Basin, which extends below as deep as 2½ miles, 13,500 feet, is primarily quartzitic sandstone quartz. The city of Colorado Springs is on the outer edge perimeter of the Denver Basin. The city of Boulder is outside the basin completely. The city of Denver is located in the energetic heart of the Geobasin. The Denver Basin consists of a large asymmetric syncline of Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic sedimentary rock layers, trending north to south along the east side of the Front Range. The basin is deepest near Denver, where it reaches a depth of approximately 13,500 feet below the surface. The Denver Basin aquifer system consists of 4 aquifers that are present in 5 geologic formations. The geologic sections of the 5 formations form a layered sequence of rock in an elongated, asymmetrical structural depression of crystal quartzitic sandstone. The quartz structure and content of the formations and the subsurface movement of waters are responsible for the unique and balanced energy that is the Denver Basin. The triplex vortex, Denver, Colorado Springs and Boulder. Within this webbing of currents, potent ley lines traverse and individually form vortexial energies around Colorado Springs, Denver and Boulder. Because these areas are somewhat separated from the main spine of the Rockies, the energy received and dispersed within them is less intense, and thus somewhat much more sustainable. Now, the Earth plane, your planet as you know it, is a specific focal vector for consciousness. At your level you think your planet is divided into areas of land and water, continents and oceans. The awareness faculties of humankind, indeed your consciousness, are tuned into frequencies of perception that give you that impression. But from a metatronic perspective, your planet is also faceted into frameworks of time and probability areas, termed parallels. So all time, all parallels coexist in greater reality of the omni-earth. As such, all of your epochs, all of your time eras, all of your mini civilizations coexist at once. Indeed, from this extraordinary panorama, time is simultaneous, so all eras of Earth history are embedded in time and clearly exist in the eternal now along with your current linear flow within the continuum of space-time vector. Within the golden mean, within what you term portals, there are certain bleed-throughs, certain apertures that allow for movement. The projections of these energies are contained within the Leylines and axial tunnel lines which encircle the areas of Denver, Colorado Springs and Boulder. In the secondary upshift of 2016, visibility of soul harmonization is encoded into the vortex portal regions of these three areas. This is purposed, for these three areas are high concentrations of human population. Many are being drawn to reside in these areas, and the populace within these areas are able to reach states of clarity more easily. We tell you that the triplex areas of Denver, Colorado Springs and Boulder are becoming powerful centers of spiritual resonance. A unique resonance from the three powerful ley lines encircles these areas, and braid, insect to form a vortexial matrix. It is a differentiated field from that of Crystalline. Crystalline, within the incredible rift zone, is indeed an extremely sacred area, but is of a different matrix, and is an even stronger field, but is much less populated. In the not-too-distant future, the areas of the triplex vortex of Colorado will be globally recognized as an area of spiritual clarity, an area of freedom of expression in which auric balance is more easily obtained and sustained. Mount Shasta, Hot Springs, Arkansas and Sedona are also recognized incredible areas of vortexial fields, but the intensity within them can at times spike and be perhaps overwhelming for some. Colorado is shifting into what may be termed a more feminine energy, and thus has shifted from 2012 forward, from the masculine frequency to that of a softer, more sustainable, nurturing vibratory field, offering greater balance. This is why a more liberated sense of freedom and a softer vibration is now culminating in this portion of the Rocky Mountains. In this sense, Colorado is becoming more closely harmonic with the Canadian Rocky Mountain region of Banff, which has always been an area of extraordinary balance. Denver, Colorado Springs, Boulder and Crystallline are now, more than previously, attracting communities of spiritual seekers, of artists and intellectuals. Masters, nothing occurs on the earth that is not under the conscious mastery of the divine living earth. Although better understanding and wise stewardship is essential, humanity would not be able to reside in any area that is currently habited if it were not purposely granted for at least a period of time. There is indeed a reason for humanity having access to specific living cathedrals. So to not think that cities located within power sets are not capable of incredible vibratory energies that are uplifting. These areas upshift the human populace within them, and although one may choose to seek an isolated area for visioning, away from the residential areas, the populace are truly uplifted when the area of habitude is in sacred energies, and so there is purpose in everything. Those areas on the earth you term power points are apexes of infinity. These points are the primary dissemination mechanism of higher dimensional energies. The vortexial portal templates that occur on the earth are uniquely varied, yet have many benevolent commonalities. The vortexial matrices of certain power nodes on the planet are what may be termed purification or crucible vectors. This is indeed a rare and yet perfect blend of energies for revealing what is hidden. It is the perfect storm. Not all vortexes are as such, each will vary, and each will spin according to its purpose and design. In these locales, there is a purposed intensity that can be either a stepping stone or a hindrance. Past life symmetry. We tell you that the triplex areas of Colorado offer a middle ground, a sustainable energy that equally allows for multidimensional experience, and a uniquely potent field especially designed for past life harmonization. And this is timely, extremely important. The energies occurring in the triplex are of course stemming from the mountains, for the reasons we have explained earlier in this channel. There is a symbiotic relationship between the physical recordings of time within elevated strata and your lives within the times that formed the strata. Accordingly, there is a geoarchaeological trigger of awareness and consciousness that is hidden within your own soul sojourn archaeology within and beyond linear time. Uniquely, in areas such as Colorado and Banff, you have the ability to look down through the levels of your own being, there to find the layers of selfhood that in your world represent the past history of yourself, from which your present self has emerged. The science behind this attribute is complex, and we tell you that certain canyons offer the same attribute, if the layers revealed in their depths go back to beyond 1.5 billion years. And the reasoning of this has been shared to a degree in our channel on the Grand Canyon. But we tell you that as your geologist correctly surmised in linear terms of time, the Rocky Mountains have a base core of over 1.7 billion years and were lifted to heights of over 5 miles in above sea level elevation some 80 million years ago. And because humanity have inhabited the Earth for far less than that time, all of your periods, all of your geological ages supporting and coinciding with humanity are within the Rockies. Imprintation and divine might. Would it be of surprise to you to know that each human who visits such geometric overlays as Colorado absorb that pattern into their field, and then become batteries that carry the pattern directly back to their homes and to other locations they visit? Has this not been the very mission of so many Earth keepers and grid workers who have been intensely drawn for the past 4 decades to visit, honor and do ceremony in what is termed sacred sites? It is why you, speaking directly to James Tyberon, were directed over the past 35 years to circumnavigate the globe and visit nodes on each continent. You carry the energy of each location within your field, and somewhat like a honeybee pollinating flora, you are among many others who have transmitted the energy of each vortex portal and power nodes to not only the other sites you visited, but to the like-minded Earth keepers you have been in contact with over the years. And we clarify that it is not one single Earth keeper, grid worker, or light worker involved in this task, but hundreds of thousands who have felt the call and done likewise within their capacity to travel. Each sacred site, each vortex portal, each grid point and power node records itself, imprints its unique vibratory signature in the auric field of the awakened pilgrim who meditates and does sacred ceremony within the specific geometric energy projection of the node. The energy awakens, in a true sense, the divine light within you. It is then of benefit, not just to the seeker, but to all those that he or she contacts, in varying degrees. Do you understand? The variation then, depending then on the light quotient of both the sender and receiver. Divine dimensional light, for each human is transmitted from within your own being, not from without. It is based upon the energy of one's own truth, the confirmations that are the cosmos, and from that place they are aggregated. They are expanded within you as only light frequencies can be, and then vibrate themselves into the mind and heart, where by the magic of your intent they are converted to wisdom. But it is important that you will know that it is energy that you send, energy that you receive, energy that you speak, and that you guide, and that you call upon that reveals to you your true divine self. Points of light and infinity dot your planet, and they offer great acceleration. Colorado is among the most pristine of these. But the most important sacred site, you see, is within your heart, and you ever carry it with you. Such is the gift of the human kingdom on earth. Mountains and energy flow. It is not by coincidence that mountains have always been revered by humanity as points of sacred resonance. Mountains and especially mountain ranges generate, amplify and affect earth currents. Energetic ley lines will flow in specific patterns up, along and around mountains in a specific geopatterning and in a highly accelerated manner. Mountain peaks will have a spiraled upward flow, amplifying as the summit is reached, occurring in somewhat the same manner as a reverse flow Tesla coil. Therefore, the energy fields that exist on an elevated mountaintop will be exponentially more powerful, because it is highly condensed. The spiral flow will fountain at the summit and provide an extremely potent helix of energy, which allows for concentric dimensional overlay. That is why pilgrims and sages have always ascended mountains, for deep contemplation. The energetic resonance allows for theta brainwave access, and much easier connection, to not only the divine self, but other dimensions of reality and past, and future time gates. The earth is both within, and beyond linear time. Mountains, however, provide greater vibratory signatures of nonlinear space-time. The elevated strata provides succinct keys, and unique, more accessible doorways to humanity, in myriad gates of multidimensional access, because the energy recordings of all time exist in the time layers of crystalline strata. When that strata is above the surface, as in mountains, the above sea level, the above surface ground attribute, has much less obstruction, and thus radiates a more tangibly powerful and lucid frequency. That is logical, is it not? Mountains allow many unique aspects of simultaneous time to be triggered more lucidly into the framework of one's present awareness. This allows for humans to achieve balance, to achieve soul harmonization more easily. That is why humans that live in and near to mountain regions often seem to live life in a more robust and balanced expression. Uniquely in areas such as Colorado and Banff, you have the ability to look down through the levels of your own being, there to find the layers of selfhood that in your world represent the past history of yourself, from which your present self has emerged. Mountains and time. The structure of a mountain has valid symbolic comparisons to the past life incarnations of humans. To explain this analogy, one may consider the summit or top strata of a mountain as the present, and the individualized substratums represent the past. Each strata layer projects its own unique attributes and frequency. The igneous layers will differ from the sedimentary and metamorphic layers. Yet the combined vibratory resonance combine all time, and form a unique vibration that will be subject to constant change as the mountain advances forward in your present, or now time. Mountains are, of course, composed of an uplifting foundation of many substratums, of minerals, and rock. Each individual layer, as we have stated, has its own identity, and is as such a living projection, a recording of all aspects of the time frequency of its formation. There is then not only an metaphoric analogy of these past formations being comparable to a human's past sojourns, there is a recording within these strata representative of the frequential signature of the eras of human incarnational lives that occurred in those past times. Accordingly, the mineralogical matter that is and was, is an integral presence, and part of those past eras, also has a unique ability to trigger within humans, awakening aspects of the past incarnations. Just as certain music, certain songs are capable of taking you to a different place, in an earlier time in your life, the frequential vibratory music of the mountain strata can, in kind, awaken memories, and create a communicative window, to the simultaneous past lives of an individual. The very earth currents that spiral upward in mountains toward higher elevations and peaks, do so by traveling through the lower past strata, and in this process, actually carry the frequential signature, the frequential vibratory song of those eras. You then can understand that the mountain is not purely defined by any one of the individual rock layers that compose it, as humans, in kind, are not purely defined by any single incarnation. There is a relationship between the mountain and each stacked layer of strata, but the mountain is a conglomerate, defined by many other attributes, and is constantly changing by wind, rain, tectonics and other geofactors. This applies as well to each human soul. You are not singularly defined or controlled by any one past lifetime, but these have brought you to the present summit of your present, of you now. Time as you change, with each new realization, each new thought and action. Time triggers and soul harmonization. What is offered to humanity, in the 2016 and beyond, upshift of the Rocky Mountains, is an enhanced ability of reconnecting, reharmonizing all past lifetimes, into the highest level of unity. This involves what one may refer to as soul defragmentation, or perhaps better described as soul harmonization. Each human soul will have a complex history of succinct purpose in differing roles and areas of incarnational lifetimes. Many of these are surprisingly very vibrationally different from one another. Most of you are aware that certain lifetimes are as male, others as female. Yet few of you have effectively combined these two unique sojournal aspects. Very few males are lucidly cognizant of their female incarnational lifetime threads. For the attributes of the past female incarnations will often be very different vibrationally from those of the present lifetime in a masculine identity. And although more females than males tend to recognize their sojourns in a different gender, the vast majority do not. This then is representative of a fragmentation of the soul attributes, which now must be integrated. And there are other separational categories of what may be termed as individual purpose themes of lifetimes devoted to developing strength, to study the responsible use of power, as well as starkly differing lifetimes devoted to the experience and nuances of love and service. It may surprise you to realize how different the resulting personality, planned under differing astrological aspects, were selected and expressed. A lifetime in a position of wealth and authority, devoted to the requisite learning of the responsible use of power, will be very different from a lifetime as a priest or monk focused on learning the nuances of love and servitude. The unfortunate result is that a soul in a present ongoing lifetime of service may find it difficult to draw upon the attributes of strength that were developed in a lifetime devoted to learning responsible use of power. And vice versa, a person in a present lifetime of power may find it difficult to draw upon the qualities developed in a past lifetime devoted to service and love. And masters, all lifetimes in higher aspect occur simultaneously. So, the fact that such lifetimes are frequentially different will vibrationally separate them. In some cases, for example, the personality aspect of an authority-based personality may be found to be quite repulsive to the personality and values of the nun, priest or monk. And as we have told you, all of you have devoted lifetimes to the study and learning of both power and love. For love without strength is incomplete in learning the full curriculum of responsible creatorship. These then represent succinctly opposing threads of lifetimes, vibrationally and purposely, that must in the final integral unification of the soul, be unified and harmonized in the removal of what may be termed as soul fragmentation. We have discussed this in the Metatronic keys. Therefore, like the diverse strata composing a mountain, each human has a differentiated strata of lifetimes that represent a sojournal history. But unlike the mountain strata, few humans have effectively harmonically combined the vibrations of the individual parts. And we assure you, the sum is greater than the parts. In the now you are different from the past, and are in a magnificent, empowered period, in this extraordinary ascending segment of linear space-time. In this now, each of you must unify selfhood into one harmonic vibration, in order to move higher into mastery. It is a requisite step forward, for many of you will discover that within the opposing threads are untoward characteristics and attitudes that block you from forward movement. Many in life threads of servitude develop a sense of inferiority, timidity and unworthiness. Many in life threads of learning power develop a sense of entitlement, control and arrogance. The rock of harmonization. So let us review and restate the opportunities of facilitated soul harmonization within the unique aspects of the frequency of mountains. What we are telling you is that the attributes of the Rocky Mountains that enables time recording also enables one to be in more lucid contact with past lifetimes. By having access to past sojourns, one is more able to recognize the separate threads of purposed incarnations that now must be merged into oneness. The placement of the mountains within certain mineralogical frequencies and the latitudinal energies, which more potently resonate in specific vectors of Colorado and Canada, allows this to occur in a more powerful projection. The 2016 Rockies activation. Let us now provide a backdrop of information on the energetic mechanics. Masters, the surface of the Earth is literally an ocean of energy. This energetic aggregation is formed from a variety of sources. The decomposition of organic matter actually creates and releases an electric charge, as does the flow of waters, both surface and subsurface, in aquifers and underground rivers. These factors are highly collated, highly embellished in Colorado. The geothermal heating, solar energy, volcanics, tectonic movement and georift pressures creates and projects massive amounts of energy. The mountains, particularly the mountains of Colorado, have highly concentrated deposits and richly embellished strata layers of metamorphic rock, crystalline minerals, and quartz crystals. These are energy amplifiers that store, transmute, and transmit energy. You are familiar with the electrical aspectual flow of Earth electrocurrents, which you term Leylines. And we will add, there are additional lines of energetic flow, and points of energetic projection, other than, and in addition to Leylines. Included are the axial tonal lines of harmonic oscillation, and the unique telluric energy flows of earth currents, which occur along rivers, hydro lines, aquifers, fault lines and the continuous spine of mountain ranges and mountain cordilleras. These add considerable living conduits of energy to the conscious earth. Mountain ranges carry a flow of incredible energy. The mountain systems of the Earth are characterized by a network structure, meaning most major mountain ranges have subranges within them. The range to subrange aspect can be thought of as a parent-to-child relationship, where they are deeply connected in merging currents of geocoded energy. So in truth, the Rocky Mountains are energetically networked to the Sierra Madre, Grand Tetons, Cascade and Andes Mountains. And this networking then logically, and equally, applies to both ley lines and axial tonal lines, generated from the mountain ranges. In 2015, in what we termed as Phase 1 of the Rocky Mountain Upshift, the Kundalini of the Rockies upgraded from a primarily electromagnetic flow into a more pure crystalline aspect. This involved all that is reverent and relevant within the massifs of the range, from its beginning in northern Canada to its completion in New Mexico. And in 2016, the axial tonal and core current extends to the tip of South America, thus connecting the Andes to the Rocky Mountains in one continuous flow, and this is very significant. Electromagnetic projections by definition involves points of both the negative and positive scale, whereas the crystalline is a harmonized homogeneous coherent energy. It is 0 point in nature, above the positive-negative scale of electromagnetics. This upshift is a result of the crystalline grid activation which occurred in December 2012 and correlates to the crystallization field of the planet occurring between 2015 and 2038. We have discussed this in prior channels, supplied through, and with the geological knowledge of James Tyberon. And as we have said, the Earth is in a new matrix and under the influence of a new planetary grid. The magnetic grid has diminished and is replaced in essence by the crystalline 144 grid, and this does absolutely shift the energy not only of humanity, but also of the living Earth. The Rocky Mtn Columnar has innumerable points of power along its serpentine length, each formed uniquely and differentiated by latitudinal vibrancy, mineralogy, geology, tectonics, electromagnetics, crystallography and elevation. The conduit of the major current generally flows from north to south, specific to the northern hemisphere. This current is fed along certain points, and the north to south conduit has a projected energy field that emanates spherically in all directions, and have reverse flow streams that form a balancing oscillation effects throughout the length and breadth, running south to north, somewhat similar to an auric ovid, and conscious electromagnetosphere. The potency of the Rocky Mountain auric ovid will of course pulsate, varying according to solar, stellar, planetary and lunar phases, and angles, and their gravitational, amalgamated combinations. In hyperdimensional physics, the latitudinal flows of energy are tied to sacred geometrics, and thus latitudinal and longitudinal flows are quite valid factors of frequential influence, but what must be also included are mineralogical and geological features which collate and amplify varying sources of energies. The most active shifts are taking place between the 49th and 53rd latitude in Canada, and the 35th and 40th latitude in Colorado and northern New Mexico. The area of the Rockies in Canada is one of brilliant light, and uniquely of crystalline waters, which occur on the 51st latitude. And we have spoken of this remarkable area in a separate channel. Ref. Sacred Banff. Banff is upshifting to the 12th chakra, from the 7th. Colorado in kind is carrying energy of heart with aspects of all 12 chakras. The area of Keystone, Colorado carries the 13th resonance, the frequential cocktail. The state of Colorado is one of the most potently and abundantly diverse mineralized areas in the world. As a result, the frequency projected along the currents are far more embellished than in other mountainous regions, and contain a greater capacity of information coding. Again, this is because Colorado is so uniquely abundant in the variety of minerals found deposited within its strata. And this plays an enormous role on the differentiation of the Colorado span of the Rocky Mountains. Although Arkansas contains a much greater quantity of crystalline quartz, Colorado also contains a vast amount of piezoelectric quartz varieties, as well as topaz and tourmaline, which are the only other gems of piezoelectrical attribute. The vast quantity of gems, conductive metals, and minerals in Colorado are widely scattered in concentrated sites throughout the state, creating succinct, one-of-a-kind power nodes. Many of these embellished and truly rare sites are on public lands such as state parks, national monuments, national forests, and indigenous tribal lands, which in most cases prohibits both mineral exploration and mining. There are as yet vast undiscovered deposits that will remain so within the protected land reserves, but the energy all of these exude is extremely potent in adding to the truly unique energetic landscape. Colorado contains deposits of vast amounts of gold and silver. But there are also energetically influential deposits of copper, lead, zinc, uranium, radium, vanadium, and molybdenum. Such frequently active ores are not the only powerful vibrating minerals found in the state. At least 30 varieties of crystals and gems are found throughout the state of Colorado. These include amazonite, beryl, lapis lazuli, agate, apatite, aquamarine, opal, malachite, chalcedony, diamond, rhodochrosite, beryl, emerald, garnet, topaz, tourmaline, rock crystal quartz, smoky quartz, crystalline barite, rose quartz, amethyst quartz, fluorite, turquoise, peridot, sapphire, and gem zircon. Metals include gold, silver, uranium, copper, lead, iron, hematite, pyrite, galena, nickel, zinc, magnetite, titanium, and even deposits of platinum. There are 8 distinct geological environs in Colorado, and each contributes to the whole, yet each retains individual attributes and identities. These have been in place for many millions of years, geologically speaking, but these have upshifting into the crystalline energy of the new Earth, specifically because of the crystalline grid. The mechanics of the upshift are complex and many, but one key driver of the change is the synergetic and symbiotic relationship to the ongoing ionic shift due to solar radiation. Closing. Masters, the Earth is upshifting, and this transition is just the beginning. The living Earth is a teacher, and certain vectors are embellished to assist you. There are sacred points upon the Earth that provide an opportunity for clearing, others for deeper unity and wisdom. Colorado is an area that is feminine in vibration, in the sense that it provides a nurturing and an expansion to the full 33 chakra system in Merkana field. It is an energy that can give one peace, a serenity for illuminating deeper truth, deeper understanding. It is upshifting to allow you to harmonize the integral self and see your purpose by harmonizing the past. Indeed, all aspects you create in your life are mirrors of you and Source. You must in process begin to see beyond the ego and realize that in higher states, one may view a greater perspective than is ascertained in the restrictive 3D span perceived by the 3D ego. In the new Earth, in the integral self, you are required to face challenges and demand more of yourself than you ever have before. Ascension is not achieved by those who would deceive themselves or rest on the laurels. Growth and graduation demands that you not only intellectually and intuitively expand, but that you take action and walk the expanded path. Much of this process is facilitated in certain sites of embellished energy. Among the most unique and important is Colorado. Dear ones, there are many sacred sites, living cathedrals that embellish your beautiful living Earth. Each wait to embrace you, for they are loving teachers. But as we have shared on many occasions, the most important sacred site, each of you carry with you. It is your heart. I am Metatron with Tyberonn of Crystalline Service, and we share with you these truths. You are beloved. And so it is. And it is so.
when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I